What's your take on this? Should women and men be paid the same for what they do in sport?
No. Very, very simple. No, because the money that you get paid in sport isn't just the fees you get for playing, as you know, it's all in the sponsorship. And that is down to marketability, who's watching, how many people are watching. Take Wimbledon, that's been the big row before this latest one. Half as many people watch the women's final at Wimbledon than watch the men's final. People are free to choose, they're free to watch. It's on television at the same time on 2 different days, both at the weekend, and people choose not to watch it. If people don't want to watch it, you're not going to get the sponsors, you're not going to get the money. Simple as that.
That's a fact.
Ready? This message is for Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney. 1, you should be here right now with your squad. 2, your team about to go down in North Carolina.
Bullshit.
Let's go! Let's go! USA! USA!
A few moments later.
Again, you got to be careful. There's a shot, and there's a goal. Nice spin move here by Lloyd. Lloyd fires and scores. Another shot and another goal.
It's a big ask, but...
Well, there's Trundle able to turn and get another... With the left, and Trundle with his second goal.
Keep an eye on that deft touch to Boyd. Boyd, the hero from the first...
Trundle got a hat trick. Murkoff trying to move around, and that's going to be a nice... Murkoff takes that shot with the left and
swinging to make that perfect contact.
It's a fast pace. You know, a lot of these guys have a lot of experience, a lot of goals as well.
Over. Jarvis, there it is.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog.
Okay, so this was the women's US second team, not the first team, but still some of the best female football players in the world, versus Wrexham FC, the men's side, which consisted mostly of retired football players. And I should say the same goes for the female side as well. They were retired, about an average age of 35. And as you'd expect, they got absolutely destroyed. Now, I actually think it was a pretty enjoyable game. Like, the female goalkeeper made some good saves during the game, and if it wasn't for her, it probably would have been something like 35-0. And here's a bit of cope that I found from some lefty news outlet. They said, the result of the soccer game between a side of US women and a team called the Wrexham Red Dragons has been misleadingly shared online to suggest the US national side lost 12-0 to a lower league men's side. I mean, wait a minute, how is that misleading? If you actually look at the English football leagues, you'll see that Wrexham do play in League 2, which is the 4th tier league, so they are technically a lower league side. And then the article went on to say, one headline reads, 4th tier men's team destroys US women's soccer team 12-0, reaffirming that biological males have physical advantages over women. I mean, there's nothing misleading about that statement at all. And I go so far as to say and put money on that if you can get the England squad back together from Euro 96, that team at the ages that they are now, okay, maybe not Paul Gascoigne, but maybe put Paul Ince in his place or something, they could still beat this women's side.
Floyd Mayweather fight, they walked away with, hundreds of millions of dollars at stake. You being at the height of your sport, maybe make what, $1 million at most per fight. Does that anger you, and what can we do to change that? I don't like to talk about exactly how much money I make, but I'm extremely comfortable and happy. You are? Yes. Okay, so and if I got to a point where I had almost 50 fights, I would probably be making close to the same amount of money that Floyd does. But at this point, I have 11. So I can't expect it to be exactly equal yet. I have to put more time in.
Boom! 2 + 2 is 4. -1, that's 3. Quick maths.
Rhonda, Lauren down here from the Herald Sun again. Just another quick one about Angela's question on equality just before. We've got quite a large pay dispute happening with our Australian women's soccer team at the moment. Is it frustrating for you as someone who's so prominent in your sport? And we heard you say on the Ellen show the other day you are the richest fighter in UFC, that sort of thing is still going on?
I think that how much you get paid should have something to do with how much money you bring in. I'm the highest paid fighter not because Dina and Lorenzo wanted to do something nice for the ladies. They do it because I bring in the highest numbers. They do it because I make them the most money. And I think that the money that they make should be proportionate to the money that they bring in.
You're goddamn right.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it. That's the basics of it. If there's more revenue, there's more money to give to the players, the athletes. And Ronda Rousey's the perfect example of this, that how women can actually make a good living if they're good and they bring in the revenue, they bring in the spectators. People want to watch it, but most people still want to watch men play sports. So that brings in the most revenue. And it doesn't make a bit of difference what you've got between your legs. You just can't demand to have equal pay. You can't be paid more than what you're worth. And it's not considered sexist or misogynist to think so either. It's just facts.
The women got a pool, or got paid out from a pool of $30 million from the Women's World Cup. The men would draw from a pool of $400 million, okay? $400 million, $30 million. Why is that? It's because the Men's World Cup generates $6 billion in revenue. The Women's World Cup generates $131 million in revenue. If you want to talk about pay disparity, the Women's World Cup players get paid out 20% of the total revenue. The men get paid out 7%. As a percentage point, they are getting much more. The problem is, for anybody desiring equal pay, and by the way, I think equal pay is a ridiculous concept in and of itself. If the women generate more revenue, they should get paid more than the men. Don't strive for getting the same, strive for getting what you're worth. And if you're worth more, then get more.
Men's game is embarrassingly cynical. The crybabies dive and pretend to be injured. Women's football is way more hardcore.
The Australian women's national team, who were ranked number 5 in the world at the time, lost 7-0 to a team of 15-year-old boys.
I don't believe that a biological male has a physical advantage in sports over a biological female.
Not as a definitive statement.
How many female members of the NBA do you see?
Well, I can say that, there's been this news article about men that think that they could beat Serena Williams in tennis, that they think that they could actually score a point on her. And it's just not the case. She is stronger than that.
Come on, don't bullshit me.
Why was it necessary for you to say that Serena couldn't beat the 700th player on the men's circuit?
She's the greatest female player that ever lived. Then the lady said to me, why did you say woman? Why don't you just say the greatest tennis player that ever lived? And so then I felt the need to just say what I really felt.
I'm just waiting. Would you like to apologize?
No, because it seems in tennis, unlike other sports that they're always asking about, how would he do against Serena? Why don't you combine, just solve the problem? I'm sure the men would be all for this. Men and women play together. And then we don't have to guess.
For me, tennis and men's tennis and women's tennis are completely almost two separate sports. So I'm like, if I were to play Andy Murray, I would lose 6-0, 6-0 in 5 to 6 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, because no, it's true. It's true. It's a completely different sport. The men are a lot faster. They serve harder. They hit harder. It's just a different game. And I love to play women's tennis. And I only want to play girls because I don't want to be embarrassed.
Yeah, I'll bet. Well, this we know for sure.
40, 50.
Yeah, that's the one I'm waiting for.
40.
All right, well, he's kind of 6'10". Oh.
Yeah, I just think it's hilarious how you've got all these people on the left demanding for equality between men and women's sports, especially in this case with tennis, where you've got all the top female players saying that they rather play with the other women than the men. Like, okay, if it's a friendly match or something like that, it's just a bit of fun, it's fine, but on a competitive professional level, they don't want to, because they know they're not delusional, they know the score, they know that men are physically stronger, faster, just as you heard Serena Williams say it herself. Now, of course, just like everything else, there are exceptions, and this next video clip that I'm about to show you is a good example of that, and I think it's worth a mention. Bearing in mind though that this clip is from a long time ago, and since then our understanding of sports psychology and fitness and physiology has improved dramatically, so yeah, but anyway, just check it out.
This boys vs girls match had more people watching than the Super Bowl.
There's no way a woman can play tennis with a good man tennis player.
Former #1 tennis player and 6-time Grand Slam winner Bobby Riggs said he could beat any woman in tennis and challenged Billie Jean King to a match on September 20th, 1973. Billie Jean King was widely regarded as one of the best tennis players in the world, and she campaigned tirelessly for the equality of women in sports. So when Bobby called out Billie Jean, she knew she had to do it, and she knew she had to win.
Would you believe that? She says she can take the pressure and play for the money as well as I can. The male is king, the male is supreme, and the women should know that.
It would go down in history as the battle of the sexes. 90 million people tuned in and watched on TV across 37 countries. The Super Bowl that year received 53 million viewers. King won the match in straight sets. This moment was so much more than a tennis match. It brought the plight and success of female athletes to a wider audience. Billie Jean, you are one bad mamma jamma. And on behalf of all women, thank you.
Everybody gets one. Tell him, Peter.
Apparently everybody gets one.
Bingo.
So yeah, that's the end of another video. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about some of the topics. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
On the attack first, throw a round kick. Block with the right, distracting back fist, #1 side kick, and spin crescent kick. There we go. Boom. Got him. Got him. Got you, didn't she, Rick?
No, I was just doing what you told me to do.
Well, that's fine. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. Think you can beat this combination? I think Marge and I know different, don't we, Marge?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's do this again. Marge, ready stance.
Sir.
Keep your eyes on Rick, and don't forget the distracting back fist. That's the key. Rick, you come with whatever you got. Full contact, no holds barred, okay? I'm going to warn you. I don't think you're going to like how this ends, hotshot. Face your partner.
Sir.
Kung Nate. Sparring stances. CJ.
Damn.